two powerhouse Australian cities, Melbourne and Perth, but only one can claim the crown. Which one really delivers? On the left, Melbourne, Australia's cultural capital and largest city, and on the right, Perth, Western Australia's booming, fastest-growing city. Let's skip the buzzwords and get to the real differences. Each round scores points, and at the end you'll find out which city comes out on top. The result might just surprise you. Okay, see this mind map here? These are the categories we're diving into: population size, growth rate, economic opportunity, urban development, quality of life, real estate and affordability, and migration and immigration. Basically, all the stuff you actually care about when picking a city. First up, population size. Let's not sugarcoat it. Melbourne is huge. Like 5.39 million people. Huge. It's got that big city vibe, tons of diversity, honestly something for everyone. But you will notice the classic big city stuff: congestion and yeah, plenty of competition whether you're looking for work or a great spot at brunch. Now, Perth is kinda the opposite. With just over 2 million people, life's a bit more chill. Less overcrowding, things feel more manageable. But being smaller does mean, well, a smaller talent pool and maybe not as many services as you'd get in the giants. Still, if we're talking size alone, Melbourne quietly takes the cake here. Moving on to growth rate, and okay, this is where Perth flexes big time. Melbourne's growth is steady, just over 1% a year, which is totally sustainable. But Perth, it's absolutely booming with a growth rate over 3%. Like 25,700 people a year are moving there. That's wild. Tons of economic action, new faces, and energy. Downside? Sometimes the infrastructure's scrambling to keep up, so expect like the occasional growing pain. But honestly, if you're all about riding a wave of growth, Perth is the place. Now, economic opportunity. Melbourne is kind of the classic overachiever here. It's got a super diverse economy, major finance, tons of cultural industries, and yeah, even some Fortune 500 companies. That means, sure, lots of jobs, but also more competition, and prices can get a little wild. Flip to Perth and let's be real, the city's economy is pretty powered by mining and resources. That's where the big bucks can be. There are some emerging industries and perks from the wealth boom, but it's a bit more up and down. All in all, Melbourne keeps its edge if you're after established opportunities. Pause for a cool fact. Get this, Perth isn't just growing fast, it's actually one of the most isolated major cities in the world. Yeah, look it up, yet it's still pulling in more new residents than anywhere else in Australia right now. Alright, for urban development, Melbourne is basically what happens when a city has been planning itself for decades. Well-established neighborhoods, awesome public transit, all those things you kinda take for granted until you don't have them. But some of the infrastructure is definitely showing its age, and honestly there's not a ton of space to keep expanding. Perth is still growing into itself. Lots of shiny new buildings, new infrastructure, and a city literally planning to reach 3.5 million by 2050. The catch, it's sometimes struggling to keep up with all that rapid growth, and the public transport isn't quite as dreamy as Melbourne's. Still, for now, Melbourne just feels more put together, you know. So let's talk quality of life. Melbourne is this non-stop roller coaster of culture, big events, amazing food, killer arts, sports, and honestly, there's something happening every night, but it can feel like a lot sometimes. Crowds, hustle, maybe even a bit stressful if you just want to chill. On the other side, you have Perth with its super relaxed, laid-back atmosphere. You've got stunning beaches, advantaged suburbs, and plenty of room to breathe, sometimes literally because it's more remote. Not as many cultural perks as Melbourne, sure, and it can feel a bit isolated. Honestly, choosing here comes down to whether you love the buzz or love your peace. Both have their strengths, so this one's a tie. Alright, real estate and affordability, here where a lot of people start paying real attention. So in Melbourne, the property game is tough. It's expensive, demand is sky high, honestly even for renting you'll need to hustle. For first-time buyers it can be a real struggle. In Perth though, well, you get way more bang for your buck. Homes are much more affordable, the rental market's heating up, and in general it's an easier market to get into, though word of warning, the rapid growth does make things a bit volatile and not every neighborhood has all the services you might hope for. Either way, right now, Perth is the go-to if you want a shot at property ownership. Last big one, migration and immigration. No surprises, Melbourne is the poster child for multicultural Australia. Tons of international connections, fantastic support systems, and you'll meet people from literally everywhere. The only thing, sometimes it takes a while to settle because, well, so many people are moving in at once. Perth, meanwhile, is catching up fast. About 1,000 people per week are coming to Western Australia. That's impressive. You'll see a new multicultural vibe developing, but the networks and support aren't quite as locked in as Melbourne. yet, and sometimes the services can be stretched. Melbourne's the winner here, but Perth is getting more appealing by the minute. Alright, let's pull back and look at the scoreboard. Melbourne's got the edge with size, economic muscle, deep culture and migration connections. Perth's not backing down at all though, it's the growth machine, super affordable for real estate and really modernizing fast. Plus that relaxed lifestyle is pretty tempting, not gonna lie. So, if you want established culture, heaps of career options and all the big city perks, Melbourne is your jam. If you're into catching the next big wave, want affordability and love the idea of being somewhere that's literally growing by the day, then Perth could be your move. Either way, you can't really lose, but pick what fits your vibe. If you found this comparison helpful, don't forget to subscribe or follow so you don't miss our next big city face-off.